What's up, family? As always, I'm just here to have authentic conversation, let off my thoughts, comments, and perspectives, and have a conversation with you guys. And you guys let off your thoughts down in the comments below, and give this video a big thumbs up if you get some value from it. So, the Teamsters Union president shared a behind-the-scenes account of an interaction with Kamala Harris during her presidential campaign, revealing that she presented herself as the underdog to the public, but actually had a confident and arrogant attitude behind the scenes, thinking she had the election in the bag, so to say. And the Teamsters Union president stated that the Democratic Party, including Kamala Harris, seems to think their influence and power were unmatched and unbeatable in the 2024 election. But if you don't believe me, with no further ado, don't believe me. Let's check out the video together.
Biden came in and he answered 5 of them. Donald Trump answered all 16. And then when Biden drops out of the race, but prior to Biden dropping out of the race, he's in the race around June or May. One of my vice presidents, a woman named Joan Corey out of my local, she sits on our general executive board, was at an event with Vice President Harris. And, they're going through the line to get the picture, and Joan introduces herself to Vice President Harris, says, "I'm Joan Corey. I'm on the general executive board for the Teamsters." She goes, "Teamsters? You better get on board.
Whoa.
You better get on board. Better get on board soon." Says it to my vice president.
To her face?
To her face.
Whoa, bro. You serious? Like he said it to his vice. Let's run that back real quick.
With Vice President Harris. And, they're going through the line to get the picture, and Joan introduces herself to Vice President Harris, says, "I'm Joan Corey. I'm on the general executive board for the Teamsters." She goes, "Teamsters? You better get on board. You better get on board. Better get on board soon." Says it to my vice president.
To her face?
To her face. So she comes back. We have the meeting the next.
Wow. It reminds me, and I want to add a little bit of context on how I'm looking at this. Let's go all the way back to when Joe Biden was running before Kamala Harris came along, right? So the UAW, right? The United Auto Worker Union. Basically, they improve, they protect wages and they improve healthcare, pensions, work hours, and work conditions, right? They're a union. They fight on the behalf of the workers, the constituents, right? Sean Fain was the president of it and speaking on the behalf of his members, but majority of his members did not really condone in supporting Kamala Harris. They condoned and supported Donald Trump, but he went against his members and voted, or I should say not voted, donated and was a donor and basically endorsed Kamala Harris, going against his members of the union, the UAW. The UAW also was on strike at one point, and it was Stellantis, Ford Auto Worker, Ford, and another major car company, Chrysler, Stellantis, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, same thing. So the 3 major auto companies, you guys can look it up. Sean Fain, I feel like it was his whole idea in regards of his personal gain, in regards to just basically trying to get a seat within the cabinet of the Democratic Party for financial gain, and to basically boast himself up from a political standpoint to get himself in position. So it looked like he saved the day, increasing the wages of the auto workers that were on strike. Now, when you fast forward, it reminds me of black culture, and the majority of the voters for Kamala Harris was black individuals or black voters, right? And this sense of entitlement that Kamala Harris have translated over to the voters that voted for her, which were black individuals who are entitled and don't necessarily believe, and I'm speaking to some, not all, but there are some out there who don't believe that they should earn, but they are entitled to receive without actually putting in the work due to the color of their skin, right? And also with Kamala Harris proposing a $25,000 first home time buyer and a $6,000 tax incentive for a first year, a child born within the first year, the entitlement comes along from those voters that voted for her. Like, they want basically a leg up. But a majority of the voters, as you guys can see, because the election has speaking for itself, don't want a leg up. They want to be able to pave their own way and earn an earnest living, and to basically be more be more able to carve their way out in regards of reaching the American dream and it being reachable instead of out of reach due to giving these incentives for a leg up that is only going to hound us more, and we're going to pay for it back as American taxpaying citizens. So the point I'm saying is this leader of the Teamsters Union, who is speaking now, the president, he basically refused to donate and be a donor endorsing Kamala Harris when they are traditionally Democratic, but they refuse to be a donor and endorse the Democratic Party. And that says a lot. And we had the content, but we didn't have the context. But now we got the context. And now it shows the arrogance of Kamala Harris and her whole team. But let's continue.
Next day.
Damn.
And she tells me this.
I thought I was arrogant. That's really arrogant.
So she tells me this. So I call up Marty Walsh. He wasn't the Secretary of Labor, but, you know, he was pushing hard for us to make the endorsement. I'm like, let me ask you a question, Marty. Excuse my French. Who does this fucking lady think she is?
Whoa.
Like, if I want to support from any organization,
wow.
I am not going to point my finger in someone's face and say, you better get on board or else. But that's the attitude of this whole party. So fast forward, she finally agrees to come after we were putting pressure on her, you know, basically, because I was doing interviews all over the place saying, we haven't got invited to the DNC. You know, they haven't accepted our invitation for her to come to a roundtable. So she comes to the roundtable. Same format, same questions. Rank and file members are asking her questions just like they asked every other candidate. And they were trying to negotiate with us. She only wants to answer 3 questions. We're like, there's 16 questions here. So she answers 3 of them. And on the 4th question, one of her operatives or one of her staff slips a note in front of me, this will be the last question. And it was 20 minutes earlier than the time.
Wow. And this shows you how the Democratic Party is so spoiled and being controlled, and they think they can control everything. Just like the legacy media with the MSNDC. I don't even call them MSNBC no more. But NBC, MSN, DNC, CNN, as they control these legacy media outlets and continue to have hit points or talking points in regards of coming at Donald Trump and the whole Republican Party, and so focus on bad man Trump instead of speaking on regards of the best interests of the American people. It reminds me of a spoiled child that doesn't understand that you reap what you sow, and at the end of the day, just because you're spoiled is a privilege. So at the end of the day, for the American people that voted and supported the Democratic Party, you guys are having the privilege of earning that vote. That vote, and in this case, the American people does not serve you, but they have been so spoiled with controlling legacy media outlets to the point where they think they can control the American people and can control who supports and donates to them in regards of donors who donate into their campaign. This is crazy, man. Let's continue.
That it was going to end.
Come on.
100%. And so, you know, you're there trying to get our support. And her declaration on the way out was, I'm going to win with you or without you.
We see
She
how that
thought
went.
that or said it out loud?
She said it out loud.
That's
Wow.
insane.
So
That's crazy behavior, actually, if you think about it.
it was insane behavior, which at that point in time, I knew she was going to lose. Me, that's just my unqualified opinion. I got a gut instinct, and I'm like,
Well, you turned out to be right.
someone this arrogant, forget anything else, but you put your finger in someone's face at an Emily's List event once you find out they're with the Teamsters, and you say, you better get on board or else. That's a problem. And then you come before us, you don't answer the question, you want to dictate what you're going to answer, and then you leave 20 minutes before it's over. And the one difference between all the candidates that came was that at the conclusion of all these roundtables, we had media set up. So after conclusion of meeting with Trump, I did a press conference down in the lobby of my building. Well, Donald Trump did a press conference down in the lobby of my building after he spoke. The same offer was extended to both President Biden and Vice President Harris, and they refused. So you're meeting with the biggest labor organization that you want, and you've got an opportunity for media to question you about how you felt the meeting went and what you wanted to achieve, and you don't want to speak to the media, that's a problem. But Trump, to his credit, in our building, in our foyer, had a press conference.
And they say that Trump doesn't want to meet with the people or interact with the people because he's too high end for people. He's too wealthy to the point where he don't even care to interact with the people because that's too little of him. It's wild to me. The attitude suggests that the left, in this case the Democrat, doesn't need to answer the people, earn their vote, or run on ideas, and is instead convinced that the elections are theirs to win by default. And the Democratic Party has been out of touch with the American people, as we know, and the mindset is not unique to Kamala Harris, but rather it's spread it out through the whole party, especially within the top individuals within the Democratic Party circle. So the party has convinced itself it can coast to victory on the backs of social media influencers, celebrities, and billions of dollars in ad spending rather than engaging with regular people. That is wild to me. So the arrogance is costing the Democratic Party, in my opinion, and their strategy is built on entitlement rather than effort, assuming that throwing enough money on an election and getting enough celebrity endorsements will guarantee a win. And the Democratic Party has lost touch with its working class roots and now looks down on the people, and it claims to represent, sneering at blue collar workers and dismissing their concerns. When voters push back, Democrats double down on their elitism instead of listening to the people. Or I should say double down on their circle or their message because they don't think the people heard them, but instead they don't care what the people got to say. They're like, oh, we just didn't get the message through enough or better enough, but they don't care to listen to the people really, labeling them as deplorable racists or conspiracy theorists, right? And the dynamic is microism of the whole, representing the attitude of the Democratic Party and the interaction between the Democratic Party and workers' unions in the 2024 election. The response to the concerns about the election was dismissive, with the attitude that the concerns would not be addressed because the party would win anyway, right? Regardless of the issues raised by the working class people. So the party's strategies for winning, in this case, the Democratic Party, was using celebrity endorsements, such as Beyonce, and creating narratives that label opposing voters as traitors to their race, gender, or nation. So I'm gonna leave it there, family. Let me know what you guys think about this. I hope I pour some value into your life, or I pour some value into you in this video, and get this video a big thumbs up. Love you guys. Peace. I'm out.